So what about Wesker? Wesker is one of the most, if not the most popular character from the Resident Evil franchise, so in a world driven by logic, he should be the most milked character out of them all. So aside from the Hot Toys 12-inch figures, let's take a look at the ginormous scripture that is the Albert Wesker action figure checklist. 1? Not even Toy Biz made him, and they made a figure out of forest! Yes indeed, the sad fact is that Wesker has barely gotten any love in action figure format by toy companies for unknown reasons. Well, unknown except by NECA, since I did actually ask them once and got this reply. So clearly NECA didn't really give a crap about the importance of the main villain of the series. Anyway, without further nonsense, grab an eyeful of the only 6 to 7 inch Wesker figure in existence by the now long gone company Palisades. Palisades were always known for their high attention to detail, so let's start with the sculpt work. Starting off with the torso, this is based off of Wesker's appearance in Resident Evil Code Veronica, and while it does have a little too many pouches in comparison to the game model, I'd say it's a pretty good sculpt. It's pretty nicely painted as well, but wait, what's this? A corset? I'm fabulous! His arms are pretty nice as well, but he was sporting the most useless hands I've ever seen on an action figure. They were pretty much only good for putting him in Sonya's ugly fighting pose for Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. I swapped them out with the hands from a NECA Resident Evil Archives Chris Redfield since that figure's bloody useless anyway. Moving down, Wesker's smooth pants have plenty of folds sculpted in that look pretty great, but to fill out the undetailed smoothness, Palisades decided to add some non-game accurate pockets and seams. I'm not really complaining, because they do look good, and they give more depth to his lower body as a whole. His boots are highly detailed as well, sporting very game-accurate lacing with brownish-orange straps. Good job, Palisades. Now on to the most important thing, the head. The head makes or breaks a figure for me, as if the body is a bit off and the head is perfect. It's still that character in an ugly costume. If the head is off, but the body really good, it's not that character and more like a cosplayer, if you know what I'm saying. So, is it a good head? Sadly, it is not. No matter how I twist and turn, the head just doesn't look like Wesker. The face is far too fat and unchiseled, and the cheekbones are like all over the place. The sunglasses suck as well, looking more like round and Ozzy Osbourne-ish than Wesker's slick shades. What's really sad is that the prototype looked great. I don't know why they decided to fatten up his face, but it just doesn't look good. Now onto articulation, and it is quite plentiful, but is it useful? Wesker's head is on a ball joint with up and down movement and also side to side. His shoulders are amazing, they're just on a ball joint which allows for like any pose ever. He has a single jointed elbow and a bicep swivel to complement his shoulder articulation, and both his hands rotate. His waist is pretty much perfect as well, rotating all 360 degrees, but his legs, like, they don't bend at all. They're like at a 45-degree angle. He's also got single-jointed knees and a boot swivel, and he's also got a thigh swivel, but they're kind of useless because you can't have him do anything except then stand right up because his legs can't move forward enough. He's also got a foot hinge, which is pretty good, but you can't even, like, even if you're a girl, you can't bring him to your tea party because he can't even sit up straight. You know, it's Wesker. He needs to do, like, all this kind of kung fu martial arts stuff. So this is no good. Time for the accessories, and Wesker comes with an alternate unshaded head, which I do not possess anymore. And check this out, a frickin' hunter figure! Now, from what I understand, since I got 2, there's one variation of the hunter with a brown line going over the top of his froggy head, and one without. I have absolutely no idea what kind of variant it is, as I bought the second hunter on eBay, but the one with the brown stripe is slightly better painted. It's a little bit darker, and I think the wash seems to be a bit better. This guy has plenty of articulation as well. He's got ball-jointed shoulders, elbows, sadly no rotating hands, a movable jaw with a really well-sculpted tongue in there. The hunter also has V-shaped hip joints and knee joints, but they're kind of useless because his feet are so awkwardly pre-posed and deformed. At least he can sort of do the thriller. Ba-dum bum 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 bum. Size comparison time, and Wesker stands exactly 7 inches tall, so he fits in quite well with the NECA line. Here he is next to RE5 Chris. Here, next to a generic DC Universe Classics figure. And here he is next to my customized Palisades Claire Redfield from the same series. So this was my review of Wesker. Is he a good figure? Sorta. Is he worth the insane prices he goes for on eBay? No, he is not. But as of now, he's the only 6 to 7 inch Wesker figure there is, so if you desperately need a Wesker, this will have to do, but I don't really recommend him. 6 out of 10.